Say Shalawam.
Shalawam.
Hey family, Shabbat Shalawam.
Shabbat Shalawam.
Let's see if I can get my son. Leave that alone.
I'm trying to get it all. Ow, mommy.
Okay, see, excuse me. This is what happens when we're doing something that we're not supposed to do, right?
Yes.
So now you're hurting yourself. Excuse me.
Sorry.
All right. All right, you all. Hey. Excuse me. All right, so welcome to Story Time. I'm your host, LaVon Gillette, and you are?
Isaac.
And Isaac, how old are you?
7.
You're 7. You're going to be turning
8
soon. So this is my second son, Isaac, such a sweetheart, and he asked to join me on Story Time. So listen, this is his first time. We're going to try to not do that, okay? All right. We're going to work with him, y'all. So this is his first time joining Story Time. I know he hears me do it, but this is his first time actually being in it because he wanted to, okay? Mommy don't ask the kids if they want to be joining Story Time. Take that back. I did ask Ethan. All right, so he wanted to do it. So why not? Okay, let's see what he's getting out of it from a 7-year-old perspective. Hey, Auntie Nita said hi.
Hi.
Auntie Nita, say hi, Auntie Nita.
Hi, Auntie Nita.
All right, so if you're new, this is a 45-minute reading, sometimes maybe an hour because I like to talk a little bit. But majority, I try to do 45 minutes. And our books, the books that we are reading is The Negro Question, written by the author Lee Cummins. And I purchased the book on Amazon, okay? The last book might have been $23, $24, less than $25. Okay, but we are not a hate group. We are not a religious people. We talk about our heritage, our Hebrew heritage, and bloodline and stuff like that. So what I read about is not linked up to religion. I just want to put that out there. Sir, if you're going to do that and play with your spit, I'm going to ask you to kindly leave my stage because we don't want to see that. Okay? All right. So we're just not linked up to any kind of religion. Okay? I just want to put that out there. But before we start, we're going to go ahead and read Jubilees, the second chapter, the second verse, second chapter, 18 all the way down to the 23rd verse. Why is because we like to point out the fact that the Most High does have a chosen people and that they are special, but they also have a greater responsibility. So being chosen doesn't mean that we're better than anyone. We just have a greater responsibility than everyone else. All right. So let us go ahead and read Jubilees. Do you want to read it? Or should I do it?
Could you help me read?
I can help you read. All right. But you got to say it loud, okay? Jubilees 2 and 18.
And he
gave
us a
great
sign, the
Sabbath, that
we
should
work.
Good job. Work.
6.
Speak clear and then speak loud, okay? You're doing a good job.
6.
Days,
but
guard the Sabbath. Yep. Say it loud so we can hear you, okay?
Sabbath on
the seventh
day for
what are your sight words?
From
good job.
All where
Work. Good job. I'm going to read it because you're not loud enough, okay? You got to project. So listen how loud I am going to be, okay?
Okay.
All right. And all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification, these two great classes he has bidden us to guard the Sabbath with him in heaven and on earth. And he said unto us, behold, I will separate unto myself a people from amongst all the peoples, and these shall guard the Sabbath. And I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath, and do sanctify it unto myself. Even will I bless them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim, and they will be his what?
People.
Good job. And I will be their Elohim. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob. Who did he choose? The seed of?
Jacob.
You got to project your voice, sir. From amongst all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever and ever. How long?
Forever.
Good job. And I will teach them the Sabbath, that they may guard the Sabbath thereon from all work. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should guard the Sabbath. What do we have to guard?
The Sabbath.
With us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink, and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified unto himself a peculiar people above all peoples, that they should guard the Sabbath together. What are we supposed to guard?
The Sabbath.
Together with us. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Yes. May Yah add a blessing to the hearers and readers of his word. And again, I read Jubilees 2:18 all the way to the 22nd verse. I believe that was the 22nd verse. All right. So grab your books. Yay. We are reading Lee Cummins, the Negro question part. How old are you?
7.
Part 7. That's right. So we left off on page 196. Woo-wee. This was a good book.
It was?
Yes. All right, but I'm going to start on 195, so it's not like, what is she reading? All right, buddy. You ready? Scoot over next to Mama. All right. Page 195, and I'm reading the book that he is quoting from, which is What Politeness Demanded Ethnic Omissions in Franklin's Autobiography. You're going to hear me mess up, but don't worry, okay? You just got to keep pushing through it, okay?
Okay.
It's not about being perfect. Mark L. Harris, Penn State University. That is where the school is. And the author, I guess. All right, so 2 other ethnic reference defy classification. In one case, Franklin narrator trades quips with political opponents about whether the assembly members resembled black slaves enough to be sold for refusing to obey the governor. As you can see, the blackness of the assembly or colonists members was never questioned. They just wondered sarcastically. How many of you guys can be sarcastic?
Not me.
I guess it's just me. All right. Whether the assembly members were black enough to be sold as slaves. I want you to put your thinking cap on. And my thinking cap, I don't know where it went today. A thinking cap on for a moment. How can blacks be assembly members, defy a governor, and write laws during colonial times unless he was free and in charge? These black Europeans that Benjamin Franklin saw every day in the colonies were the seed of the black Scots and black Britons that founded the 13 colonies. The free black European history has been destroyed in a very cunning manner. The establishment has merged the history of the free blacks from the North with the history of the black slave in the South. This is why it is illegal for your child not to attend school. The black child must show up to a government-funded school to learn the merge history. Would you hold this for me? Two hands. The merge history of the free Black Europeans and the Black slave from the South. He must be taught the greatest false memory of them all. He must be taught that he is descended from slaves. He must never hear the history of the free Black man. On this one great false memory hangs the ideology of white supremacy. The blacks in this world sit in great darkness. We are the plants on the grounds of the mighty Amazon forest. We search mightily for the light, but we can't find it. It is hidden away from us. Swarthy Black Germans, Black Philadelphia. Let's dissect this statement written in Benjamin Franklin essay. The swarthy Blacks, Germans, are swarming and herding into Philadelphia, end quote. I took the liberty, or his own freedom, okay, of going back and looking at the population data from Philadelphia in the year 1760, and I almost fell out of my seat. See the article below. I'm going to read it. Ethnic omissions in Franklin's autobiography, Mark L. Henry, Penn State University. Again, it ain't nowhere near us, okay? In 1723, Benjamin Franklin arrived in the city of Philadelphia. Shout out to my Philly fans. I don't have any, but I feel like I should say that. The city population of about 5,000 people already included large numbers of Germans, Scot-Irish, English, and Welsh inhabitants. Only the following 30 years, 1753, Franklin became a prominent printer and then a professional public figure. The city was inundated or overrun. Thank you, sir. The city was overran by immigrants. 40,000 swarthy/Black German speakers landed at Philadelphia in the period, and a further 30,000 swarthy Black Scots, Irish migrants, you get it, enter Pennsylvania. See the data below. We will get to it. White politeness demanded ethnic omissions in Benjamin Franklin's autobiography. This is his quote. When Benjamin Franklin entered Philadelphia in 1723, there were 5,000 inhabitants in the city: Welsh, Germans, English, Scots, and Irish. Within 30 years, 40,000 Germans and 30,000 Scots/Irish migrated to the province. Here is a picture. You want to show them this picture?
Yes.
Okay. Or a graph, I should say. So we're looking at that. I don't know if you guys can see it.
We don't know.
Auntie Tay-Tay's so happy to see you. She said, my squishy face baby. I love you, my birthday twin.
She better not say squish face.
Oh, okay. Grandpa said showtime. All right. So Franklin saw 70,000. I can see you. Franklin saw 70,000 Black Germans and Scot/Irish swarming into Pennsylvania, and he described them as swarthy Black men. Since the Blacks were the majority, they controlled. Since the Blacks were the majority. Do you know what the majority means?
No.
Okay, so it's like since they were the more people that they were more there. Since they were more of them, majority. Little is the minority. It's not too many, but when you're the majority, you're the most. There's a lot. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So he said, since the Blacks were the majority, and somehow this system had us to believe that we were the minority. I'm just not going to believe that over all these times, 17, 18, 19, you have 50,000 of us shipped, million of us shipped here. So now when we get to 2020 in the year 20,000, 20,000, whatever, 2021, we're supposed to be the minority? How, Sway? I don't know. But listen, he said, since the blacks were the majority, they controlled the assembly, wrote the laws, and controlled the political landscape. Crazy. Never heard about us writing laws. The state of Pennsylvania will see another black explosion in the year of 1760. Let's go on to the next page, and we shall. You and your faces, Isaac. Okay, so the Welsh in Pennsylvania author Matthew S., The People of Pennsylvania pamphlet. So this is a quote from Matthew S. In the year 1700, Pennsylvania had a population of 20,000 people, and 1/3, 6,666 Black Welsh of Pennsylvania population was British/Welsh. What politeness demanded the ethnic omission continued. This is a quote. There were 175,000 inhabitants in Pennsylvania in 1760. And here is a good old breakdown.
You see?
You can ask him.
Can you see it? Give me a thumbs up if you did.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it loud so they can hear you.
Give me a thumbs up if you did.
Pennsylvania had a population of 175,000 residents in 1760, and 162,496 of them were Black. Pennsylvania had a population of 175,000 residents in 1760, and 162, come on minority, 496 of them were Black. 39,996 were Black Welsh, 70,000 were Black Germans, 52,500 were Black Scots, Irish, and 12,504 were white English. Auntie Linda gave you a thumbs up. The Welsh / Welsh represented 1/3 of 6,666 Black Welsh of the population in Pennsylvania in 1700. With this information, I was able to calculate the total Welsh population for Pennsylvania in 1760. I did this by using Benjamin Franklin's doubling formula. Thank him for his math skills and for him doing the work, because you know who wasn't going to do the work? Point to yourself and say, me. I wasn't. Once I calculated the numbers for the Welsh, I was able to subtract out the numbers for the English. This is the reason Benjamin Franklin made the comment, and this is his comment. The number of purely white people in the world is proportionally small. The Saxons with the English make up the principal body of the white people on the face of the earth. Should I read it again?
Yes.
Okay. The number of purely white people in the world is proportionally small. The Saxons with the English make up the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. End quote. That quote was made by Benjamin Franklin. This is this is something important because he has it written in bold, okay? The white Europeans were the minorities in the 13 British colonies based on Benjamin Franklin's doubling formula. I took the liberty of going back to 1990, good year, because I was here, to study the doubling tendencies of the white Europeans. And to my dismay, they didn't double once from 1990 to the year 2000. Did y'all hear that? The white Europeans were the minority and still is the minority. I don't care what these folks say. In the 13 British colonies based on Benjamin Franklin doubling formula. I took the liberty of going back to 1990 to study the doubling tendencies of the white Europeans, and to my dismay, they did not double once from 1990 to the year 2000. And those were some good old years, okay? I was there. If you can't double under pristine conditions, you weren't there, you was chilling. All right, so if you can't double under pristine condition, access to medicine, adequate food, housing, peace from wars, and educated society, how could you possibly double during the colonial times? ... You can't. It is impossible. Exclamation mark. This is the reason the faces of the generals and colonials or colonials, nope, colonials, I'm saying it all kinds of wrong tonight. But you get it. Colonels. I've been saying it all right this whole week, but tonight I can't. Soldiers and common people have been painted white. The Europeans are trying to make their colonial history that their fathers wrote match the images from that era. In order to make their books balance, they began painting the images white, cooking the books, unseasoned books, okay? Unseasoned, barely cooked through, just boiled, okay? Not broiled, but just boiled. Not, okay. This is what Yahushua meant, Luke 11:52, when he said, "Woe unto you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge, and them that were entering in you hindered." End quote. How did the establishment take away the key of knowledge? Question mark.
Question mark.
They herded us into their schools, and they taught us false memories. They substituted light for darkness and darkness for light. How many of y'all know that it's still going down today? They're still doing this today. They're still teaching false doctrine in our school systems. Still, what's good is bad, and what's bad is excellent, top notch. Doing it today, okay? The government controls what the government-funded school can and cannot teach, or they won't receive funding. Once the educated whites in our generation stumbled onto the truth, they understood that they had a huge problem. Quote, "Our history books are full of errors. They don't match the artifacts of the memoirs. What are we going to do?" So instead of teaching the truth, they chose to lower the road, the paintbrush. This was their version of balancing the books. Just like a crooked accountant would do when they try to conceal stolen client assets. Before we take a look at the numbers for the Black French, I would like to take a look. I would like to take a moment of your time, his time, my time, and anybody else's time that's watching this, and draw your attention to the doubling of the so-called Negro. I use the same doubling formula for the so-called Negro, and to my dismay, we are missing 21 million Negroes. Is that a lot or a little bit? 21 million.
A lot.
Negroes. In 1963, there was 20 million Negroes in the United States. Per Franklin Doublet rate, the Negro population in 1988, I was 2 years old. It's not about me. We focusing on him. But 25 years later, should have been 40 million and 80 million strong by 2013. But that is not the case. The last census put the Negro population at 40 million, which means we are short of 40 million Hebrews. Let's see if we can account for the missing Hebrew people. Since 1973, 19 million Hebrew babies have been aborted in the United States. That leaves 21 million missing Negroes. Where could... Well, thank you, Auntie Shelley. Auntie Shelley said they're at her house, some of them. Where could 21 million Negroes be hiding? Some of them could be here. They are hiding, and they haven't been kidnapped. They were never born. Wait a minute. Oh, maybe because he's talking about the abortions. He says, where could 21 million Negroes be hiding? They aren't hiding, and they haven't been kidnapped. They were never born. Listen, so I want to see if I can get you guys to see this. Let's see. Can you see that? Linda says she got a few too. I don't know if y'all can see that, but let's see. I'll take a picture of it and post it on my page. When couples have abortion, they abort the child in their generation, and the generations that should have lived are never born. That is so true. Okay, so just to use Isaac. Sorry, I have 3 and I still can't get their names right. And their names don't sound nothing alike, okay? I have Isaac, okay? Take him. In Isaac, right now he's a boy, right? You're a boy.
Yes.
But in quick years, you're going to be a teenager, right?
Yes.
Then you're going to be an adult.
Yes.
And then you're going to be a man.
Yes.
And then you're going to be a husband.
Yes.
Then you'll be a father.
Yes.
So that means there are some children within you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you have children, your children will have children, and their children will have children, right? That's a lot of generations. But imagine if you're never here, if you were never born. So the man that's in you wouldn't be here. He wouldn't even see you. Okay. So the children that's in you, that's just chilling right now, not even developed. We ain't even going to go there. Would not be here. So a lot of people did not want their babies, and they aborted them. So now generations.
What does abort mean?
Abortion. Oh, man. Did I walk into something? Did I open up a door? Abort. All right. So simply, when a woman doesn't want a baby, she goes to a doctor, and the doctor murder the baby, kills the baby. That's what they do. And they take the baby from the mom's belly. Okay, not from the belly. Listen, I ain't going into the specifics. Okay, but they murder the baby. They take the baby out from the mommy's stomach or womb, and the baby is never born. That's abortion. Also murder. But they don't see it that way. All right, so that was my illustration for the generation coming from him. Okay. Whew. Okay. Auntie Tickety Tay from the Bay said to aggressively stop pregnancy.
Okay, yeah. I'll take it.
Thank you. When couples have abortions, they abort the child in their generation, and the generations that have lived are never born. Not I, but Lee Cummins, as he's writing the book, am just as guilty as the other 21 million parents, because I did the same thing when I was younger. The streets taught you that if you got a girl pregnant, all you had to do was get an abortion, and that was that. Women, if you get pregnant as a result of fornication or adultery, don't slay the child. And men, if you impregnate a woman, don't force her to slay the child. It is not the child's fault, and there is no cloak for sin. When you know better, you should do better, right? Right. When you are driving through your communities, open your eyes and see there is a Planned Parenthood close to all the inner cities, high schools. In fact, Planned Parenthood, get into it. Margaret Sanger, come on, that witch. Parenthood is strategically placed all over the neighborhood. This is their little secret. There are many secrets. Let's investigate the Black French migrants as they swarm into the 13 colonies. As an accurate number for the migrants, French flooding into the British colonies has been lost to history. Since the Germans and the French were Black, the French migration totals were added to incoming German totals. Black French immigrants entering the 13 colonies. French racial strain in colonial Pina. This is page 337. Many immigrants of Huguenot or French extraction came to Pennsylvania along with the Germans from Germany, Switzerland from Palestine, and from the Rhine country generally. These had been driven from France at different times by religious persecution, and a large percentage of them had become Germanized in language and custom. Many of them had even exchanged their French names for German names. As a result of these circumstances, there was a considerable number of French immigrants to Pennsylvania who were counted among the German element of the population, whereas they were really French. A large number of Huguenots or French companies came to the province on the immigrant ships from Rotterdam, whence they had embarked after having come from Switzerland, from Alsace and Lorraine, and from Holland. And many such lists are on the record, inasmuch, however, as they came on the same ships with large number of Germans, and so many of them had undergone the process of Germanizing for a generation or two. They French were customarily lumped together with the Germans, and their French origin was overlooked. Here he says, am I French or German? Am I German or French? So here's a picture. This is the French. This is the German. But again, like he mentioned, all right. You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have placed two images of two black men on this page. One is German and the other is Frenchman. Can you tell which one is the German and which one is the Frenchman? The answer to this riddle can be found on pages 71 and 76. Let us leave this matter for a moment and see the people of France through the eyes of Benjamin Franklin. So he said we're gonna keep on going. Memoirs of the Life and Writings of Benjamin Franklin, page 310. And I quote, on the road yesterday in France, traveling to Nadies, we met 6 or 7 country women in company on horseback and astride. Most of the men have good complexion, not swarthy like those of the North France in Abbeville. Benjamin Franklin was the American ambassador to France, and he lived in that country for 9 long years. The man traveled around the country taking in the sights and observing the population. Franklin wrote in his diaries the things he witnessed while living abroad in France. And Franklin's testimony is this, and I quote, I saw swarthy Frenchmen when I traveled to the north of France. The masses have been programmed to disregard the eyewitness account of the men and women who were alive during the colonial era. We have been taught to believe conjecture. We are taught to trust books written by men who curse the eyewitness account. Shame on us. When you know better, do better. French racial strain in colonial Pina, page 333, continued. It is customary to regard Rupp's list of 30,000 immigrants as recording the arrivals of Germans in the province, whereas a goodly percentage of these names were those of the French who accompanied the Germans to the New World. Most of the French immigrants to Pennsylvania settled in the German countries and were absorbed by the Germans. In much, this next sentence or couple sentence is underlined and is darkened, okay? In much the same way as the early Welsh settlers were absorbed by the English. This has led to the minimizing of the French racial strain in colonial Pennsylvania upon the parts of historians. What does this prove? It proves that the Germans, the Black Germans, and the French look the same, and it proves something else of a greater importance. This next line is dark and it's underlined, it's bold. It proves that what they label as being fact in the government-sponsored school system cannot be taken at face value, and why. History is an ongoing science. Ongoing means continuing or still in progress. There are new discoveries being made daily that alter what was once considered fact. This rule was applied to the work of the greatest scientist, Albert Einstein. When Einstein came up with his theory of a constant universe, it was considered a fact. Once Einstein published his findings, scientists soon discovered that the universe was expanding at blistering speeds. Einstein theory was no longer fact because of the ongoing rule. The Black nations of the world have a moral obligation to apply the ongoing rule to their own history. We cannot give false memories/history as an inheritance to our children without being partners to a lie. And let me get to this next page. Colonial Hugh Wayne by Silas Weir Mitchell, William John Penn. The lad looks tired. We're going to go ahead and stop it now. It is 36 minutes. I have 40 minutes, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and stop it now. And we're going to pick this up. This was really good. I just want to go back to that last sentence when it says we cannot give false memory/history as an inheritance. Everything that we have inherited through this system, we need to regurgitate and never give it to our children. Okay? As an inheritance to our children without being partners to a lie. And we're going to stop it right there. That's a really strong sentence and statement. It's very true. I'll be dang if I pass on the lies that was given to me as a child to this one right here or to the other two. We're not doing it, right?
Yeah.
We're going to learn we're after truth, right?
Yes.
That's right. We only want the truth so you can feel enriched in your soul and your spirit and in you, so you can be confident in you. All right, that's what we want. So we're going to go ahead and pray. Can you pray us out? And you got to make sure you project your voice so everyone can hear, okay?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Talk to the people here. Go ahead.
Thank you, y'all, for keeping us, saying us, having a great time today, and protecting all of us in this house. And take care of Grandma and Grandpa, and Mommy and Daddy, and me, Ethan, Zoe, Taylor, and Erica, Papa, and Auntie Becky, and Uncle Gary, and Aman.
Aman. Thank you, Isaac. That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful. And with that, we want to say Shabbat Shalawam. We thank you all that tuned in for story time tonight. We're going to pick it up. Isaac, thank you for joining us. I hope that you got something out of it. Did you get anything out of story time? I hope you did. And we're going to see you all Monday at 7 p.m. Right?
Yes.
All right. With that being said, we'll see you. Make sure you guys tune in on our Shabbat tomorrow at 12 p.m. on Facebook. You can also tune in on my Facebook. I normally put something simple as join us, or you can go to my dad's page, Eric Gillette, and just tune in on our Sabbath teaching, which is at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, KC, make sure you be on time, brother. Be on time, sir. All right. You all. Auntie Sheila said that was a great prayer, Isaac.
Thank you.
Say Shabbat Shalawam.
Shabbat Shalawam.
Say peace, Sabbath peace from my home to yours.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Sabbath peace from my home to yours. Bye, you all. We love you.
Bye. Bye.
You gonna say your famous line
What?
when you say like and subscribe?
Nope.
Okay.
That's
Well,
Zoe.
Okay. My bad.